What's up, everybody? It is the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
I'm Jim Love. I'm a keynote and motivational speaker, and we are falling apart.
Apparently, this is the third one we've taped today.
That's right.
And that was the first one I fumbled over.
Yeah, it went well. We're good to go. But
anyway,
we are here, and we're
yes.
excited to be here, and I hope you are too.
Yes.
And if you're not, then get out.
No. Anyway, when we don't have episodes with guests, we are talking about things that we go through with our side hustles, our passion projects. And today we've got a pretty good one.
We do.
We are talking about building community, which is something that I don't think we have talked about enough on this podcast. We do talk about it when people have it with their side hustles.
Right.
But we haven't really talked about it with ourselves.
Our individual ones. Yeah, exactly. So I think for this, you know, like what's interesting with side hustles and passions is that sometimes people can get competitive and be like, I'm doing my own thing, to hell with you type of thing.
Yeah.
But what I found is that people do want to help each other out. And so I'll just speak from the speaker network, right? In two ways. The first one is speakers and folks that you meet that like along the way. So I have a lot of folks in my network that are way more experienced than I am. I have some that are just starting, and actually, Jason is one that's just starting that I know people I met here, and folks that like I'm either mentoring or that I kind of want to be like, and it's a really good mixture of people. And we oftentimes will give each other like leads, oh, I can't make this one, but I know someone who can, that type of thing, and it's super helpful, especially when you know their niche. So, for example, I have one speaker, Kyle, who his niche is the same as mine. Like we go to schools and stuff like that. A guy named Joe, his is businesses. So if I get business reach out and I can't do it, I'll know that I can go to him.
You have a speaker for every occasion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whatever you need, we got. Now, I can do a lot of those. So I'm always like, if I can't make it, then I'll go. But I can match. But it's I think it's so critical to build a really supportive, I call it like a tribe of people that like want to see you succeed. So that's like the first one is the natural people that are in my network that do what I do. Mm-hmm. The second one is fans of your work. And so I have found that like moms are the best fans that like have a network.
Jim Love, big with moms,
huge mom guy. And so for me, it's like moms that have kids that are this age, that are in high school, and like that's the ones I want to meet. That they know their district, they know, like the moms know everything. They know what's going on. They're gonna talk about you to their friends whose kids go to a different school. So like whenever, and the bonus points if it's an educator and a mom, that's like when I can always like get in on like what they're doing.
That's gonna connect you to a lead immediately.
It's huge, and that network, like I there's so many supportive moms I have that are my age or older, that really like want you to be at the places that you're doing and succeed, and then are active on social media. These moms that are just like, oh, they're out there. So those two have always been really critical, and I think whatever line of work you're in, that's your passion or your side hustle, to find the community that makes the most sense. Like if you're doing arts and crafts, find people that also do that. Like what else are they up to? If you're dealing Pokemon cards, like who else is out there doing it? What can you learn from them? And there's just so many ways to be inspired by it, but also like find people that want you to succeed. That's the biggest part. And so those two, I would say between those two groups I have, the second one wants me to succeed more. The speaker ones are like, we'll help you out, whatever you need, but like they have their own business and they got to keep it. The moms are like, dude, we want, like, we're full throttle, like on your side. That's kind of what you get. So
that's awesome.
I enjoy that. I like making connections in that place. I mean, like, the next one will always lead to something, great. And you just got to talk to people about what you do, and usually it works out. Yeah.
We, on my side of things, have a unique situation with the Milwaukee music community where like for years and years and years, people have said that like there is no community in Milwaukee music. Like everything is super fragmented. Everybody's competitive, crabs in a bucket kind of thing.
I've never heard that now. Crabs in a bucket?
Yeah. You've never heard crabs in a bucket?
No. What does that mean? Like you reach
They're all just fighting over in a small space.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I've heard a lot of that, and I'm sure a lot of Milwaukee musicians have heard that. However, with this beat battle that we're doing, and a little bit of recency bias because I'm literally a night removed from doing one of the battles, but the coolest thing for me is the end of the night, and the battle is done, and it's competitive. Like it is definitely a competition. Mm-hmm. People want to win. There's a trophy. There's prizes. There's all of that. But the amount of people that stay around after the battle's done, no matter if they won, if they lost, they stay in the room and they hang out until like we get done with our show generally around midnight. Sometimes they're done, like they're still hanging out, talking like out on the patio or something like that. That's outside awesome. Of the venue.
Really
like after I'm done already taking everything down, like all the production and loading up my car. And I'll walk outside and there'll be like 30 people still out there, like hanging out, talking.
That's great.
And they're talking either music or they're just like shooting the shit or whatever. But like in doing that, like that's community building.
That's how it is.
Literally outside of that venue. Like sometimes that's the best part of it.
I love it.
To the point that like me and Topher, who is here, Topher Schwartz, the DJ, we've talked about like, I've been like, should we just do like a music networking night? Because like it clearly is what people
want to talk.
Are there to do it. And then one of the producers from the Beat Battle has a studio downtown, and now like he's invited, like since last year, has invited after last year's Beat Battle people to come hang out at his studio, see his space.
Oh yeah.
And then like every Wednesday now, like Wednesday nights, we have a group chat. We got people like, who's coming to the studio tonight?
That's awesome.
And like any given night, there could be 2 people there, or there could be like 20 people there in this space.
You know, like you want to find people that are interested in what you're doing. You know, that's what this is. Like it's a shared value that they want. And you know, I know. Excuse me.
Yeah,
these high noons are getting to me. I think, I mean, it's every now and then fields can be competitive, but usually when you dive down deep, like they want to share ideas. You know, people want to talk to peers, and the music part's so fun because like, how often is that evolving and changing? You know, like what's got to get done and like what people are focusing on, and like same here. Like we have to connect with people in a different way, and we went from being virtual, like now we're back, and it's like it's you know, we got ruined for a little while, and then to come back in is great. So I think people are always yearning for something bigger than them, and you find that in community, whatever one that is for you is the important part. But that's like you walk out, you see what you've created. You're like, this is a really unique.
It is like a very cool moment to sit back and be like, and watch everybody kind of network with each other, and you're like, oh,
this is happening.
I brought all these people together to hang out in this room. Like that is like a little bit of like a proud parent moment of like, look at this thing.
All my kids are here.
But I did think too, like with what you do and what I do. So music, like musicians generally write alone, right? You know what I mean? Like they perform for people, but most of that is like doing stuff alone. And like, do you go through the same thing that somebody else goes through, or how do you do your process versus that? For you guys, for speakers, you're probably not writing your talks with an audience. You know what I mean? Like obviously with an audience in mind.
Yeah, I definitely write alone for sure.
But you're not like sitting somewhere and writing with another like 100%.
Speaker. It's totally individual.
So I think the community for you guys then is like, hey, do you do this thing that I do alone? Do you do this too?
And share like how you did it. Like so, I find myself sharing my process to write. I'm like, here's my 5-step process I follow. And it's funny is I'm writing a new thing right now for something this summer, and I'll go back and be like, okay, follow the process. Because I'll start writing and like it's all jumbled. I'm like, no. Like boom, 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 boom. And then I put it back in a perspective and it always works. So I find myself coming back, but I learned that from someone like from networking. Like this is how they do it. And I'm like, oh gosh, like I gotta borrow that, you know, and make it happen.
And see if it works.
And I've shared that with people and it works for them. And then you're like, okay, like what's been like your worst moment, you know, at a school, or like what have you seen from students, you know, for example, like that kind of thing. I always ask those kind of questions because a lot of those are universal, you know, like students are feeling this way, or we've heard this, and or like I did this activity and it worked really well, or like I changed this activity. There's some activities that we've been doing for years, and you put like one nuance on it, or something changes a little bit, and it's like that hit different now. Like we're using these activities got created in the 90s. Like things are not the same, and so it's like what can I add to this that will make it beneficial for this particular group, and that's been really helpful. Now, all that said, there are definitely people that are so, for example, like in the speaker community, there's one guy who takes it upon himself to like give unsolicited advice that I'm not looking for. And I'm like, I'm not going to change what I'm doing because like, you're like, well, that's wrong. It's like, no, it's not wrong. It's the way I do it. And I don't like that, you know, and then they get a reputation for being like, oh, of course this guy's going to come up and share, you know,
there's plenty of
what his thoughts are. But for every one of those, there's 15 of the ones that are really supportive. Yeah, it's fun.
There's plenty of that in music too. Of like,
I'm sure. Yeah.
You know, if you play a show with a band that just does not respect what you're doing or whatever, or like, or if you book somebody too, like I won't name names, but me and a promoter that has been on the show previously. So you can narrow it down. A music person that has been on the show previously. I think I saved it.
There you go.
We'll talk a bunch about, you know, when somebody is not great. at their club or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just in general, if I say, hey, I'm booking this band for this thing, or I'm booking this act for this thing, or whatever not the gossip is, but like the reputation that people are.
It extends.
Where you're like, hey, you don't want to do that because XYZ.
Yep.
Like I have definitely, and it has gone both ways. There's definitely been ones that they've booked that I've been like, hey, just so you know, like like they did whatever online or whatever, and you're like, maybe not the best idea.
Yeah.
And it just is like a looking out for each other kind
I
of
agree.
thing of like, hey, don't fall into a trap.
Yep.
So
tell us about your support community. What have you built with your side passion, your hustle that has been fun to share with other people? In the meantime,
you can build a community here by following the Hustling Sideways podcast. We are the Hustling Sideways podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on social media wherever you get your social media too, because we're all over the place everywhere.
There. Yes.
Specifically TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of those places too. So make sure you go ahead and follow us there. And Jim,
keep on hustling.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.